Part 6 I'm going to skip, and Part 7, again, I'm not really going to go through it much. It's just basically that part covers the prevention of intentional contamination. That is a requirement. Anybody who's supplying to USDA commodity procurement has to have that portion done. Can we launch the second poll, please?
Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So, our next poll is, do you have a food safety plan in place? Yes, I have a comprehensive plan. Yes, I have a moderately detailed plan. Yes, I have a loose plan, but it could use improvement. No, I'm going to develop or am in the process of developing one. And finally, no, I don't think it's necessary for my operation. So 53%, 60% have voted. 80%, 87%. Give it a couple more seconds before I close the poll. Okay, closing the poll and sharing the results. So about 8% of our viewers have a comprehensive plan and another 8% a moderately detailed plan. 54% have a plan that could use some improvement. 31% are going to develop a plan or in the process of developing one, and no one thinks that it's not necessary for them to have a plan. Thank you.
Well, that's good news that no one thinks it's not necessary. I would encourage everyone to develop a good plan, even if you're not going to get a certification or get a third-party audit. It is important to understand, food safety in your operation. So, if for no other reason than to be able to answer your customers' questions, what steps are you taking to ensure the safety of the food they're buying from you? It's very important. So, I encourage everybody to continue on your quest here. In regards to auditing, the prerequisite, which I covered earlier, you need to have a documented food safety program. As auditors, we cannot assist, really in developing your plan. However, there is a good food safety experts at universities and county extension agents who can assist you in developing your food safety plan. I hope everybody understands that we're really not supposed to help you develop it, because then we take ownership of that plan, so we kind of get biased a little bit. So this website, which is on the screen here for On the Farm Food Safety, is a very good one to help you develop a food safety plan. I know each of the individual states have some great university extensions that can help you with that as well. So one of the big things is that you need to have somebody designated to oversee the program. And you really need to have buy-in from the supervisor, the manager, the owner of the farm, because that goes a long way to everyone else seeing that the boss is doing it, so I should do it too. If everyone sees the boss doesn't really take it seriously, they're not going to take it seriously either. And I've been on farms and packing houses audits that you can tell that not everyone buys into it. And as auditors, you can put on a good show for us when we come to do an audit, and it looks really good. But a good auditor can see through a review of records and documentation that the plan maybe isn't as effective as it could be. So, in requesting an audit from us, you need to be in operation. So at the time when we come to do the audit, you need to be either growing, packing, or harvesting. We need to get at least 2 weeks advance notice. You can't call us and say, we'd like you out here tomorrow. While some of the states may be able to do that, I do know that there is at least one state who actually requires a little more notice than just 2 weeks. So just be aware of that. But when you call, you get an estimate of the cost. Ask them how much it's going to cost. Generally, a lot of the audits take 3 or 4 hours. The individual states vary a little bit on the cost as far as their hourly rate. If you're getting an audit from another company, They are different than what our USDA auditors charge, federal state auditors charge. If you get one from us, federal auditor, we're going to charge, I think it's in the range of $92 an hour. So being prepared, which I'm going to cover here in a minute, will benefit you greatly. As a grower, let's see, we're also going to ask you to sign an agreement for participation. This agreement basically spells out which each of the parties is responsible for. As a grower, you are signing this document stating you're going to conform with all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations or statutes. You're also going to allow an auditor onto your premises. You're going to maintain your records. You say you're going to maintain records, and you're also agreeing to pay it. USDA agrees to perform the audit. We agree on this agreement as well. We agree to confidentiality. We agree to provide reports, as well as the length of service. If you get an audit from us, that audit is good for 1 year. And the agreement, as long as you continue to use our service, will go on file and will continue to be effective throughout. So we don't have to have you sign that every year. What I do as an auditor, I will always bring it back with me when we come to do the next year's audit, just to review what everybody's responsible for. As part of the length of the service, something unique to USDA is that we perform what we call unannounced reviews. Basically, with exception of the farm portion, any of the other scopes, we perform an unannounced visit, and we'll come back to a farm. Generally, it's not entirely unannounced because we might call ahead the same day and say, hey, are you packing today, or something going on, so we need to come back out and visit you today, or something to that effect. But we do these unannounced. The rule that USDA has, if you are in operation for less than 30 days, you won't get any. If it's over 30 and less than 90, you would get a minimum of 1. If it's more than 90 days of operation, you would get a minimum of 2 unannounced reviews. When we come out to do an unannounced review, it is not so much going through the whole checklist again. We'll bring a copy of the checklist. We'll randomly do some observations, pull some records, and if we see something, then we'll dig in deeper and see if you're continuing to conform to your standard operating procedures.
Todd, I'm just going to jump in and say you have about 5 more minutes.
Okay. Wow. I got a long way to go. Okay, I'll speed up. So to preparing for your audit, you need to know your manual. You need to know what type of audit you're requesting. Make sure you're getting the right one. So you need to talk with your customers and make sure you know what you're getting into. Also, you could perform a self-audit. Do an audit on yourself. Not the USDA audit doesn't require it, but some of our other audits, the Tomato Protocol, the Leafy Green, and the Harmonized audit require us a documented self-audit. So it's good to have one of those completed. It lets you know your weak points, where you stand, and so then you can be prepared for that when the auditor comes out. Have your documents ready. Like I told you, it's not inexpensive. It's kind of expensive to have us come out to do an audit. So having all your documents, your SOPs and stuff ready to go. Some of the companies I've audited actually have tabs on there. They have it in a binder and have tabs with all of the questions listed as a tab. Say, as an example, we needed a record for G3 for potable water. So they'd put a tab on that water test saying G3 so they could go right to it and show it to us and we can review it. So having that stuff ready saves a lot of time for everybody. The auditor is going to have an opening meeting with you. He's going to cover he's going to basically go over the audit, tell you what he's here for, what he's going to cover, and develop a plan as in regards to, are they going to go out and observe things first, or does he want to see records and documentation first? Then they will go perform the audit. There will be some interviews of some of the staff that's out there, and then they'll also just make a bunch of observations, and then they'll compile the data and then have a closing meeting with you to discuss their findings and present to you whether it was a pass or fail. Essentially, our audits are either pass or fail. You won't get, a superior or pass. You know, it'll always be pass or fail. There is no A's or A pluses with our audits.